All right, so as we said at the start of the lesson, the main thing that you need to find the equation of a line is slope and a point. But if you're looking at question 3, which I'd like to think people got up to, and that's what, when you did your homework, that's what I noticed that people were doing. Right, they don't give you the slope, swines. They're going to make you work for it. So what we have to do is first find the slope. All right? So for those people who missed some of the how to find the slope, we are reminding ourselves. You've got lots of numbers everywhere. So the tip I would give you, so you're not doing extra work because you've made a silly mistake, is you actually write these numbers down in your book. I don't have to because they're cut and pasted on the board. Lucky me. Right? You would have done a few questions like this already. You would know, are you getting mixed up with your X1, Y1 stuff? If you are, then you label, right? X1, Y1, X2, Y2. If you're not mixing it up, then that's fine. You don't need to. So we've got M equals. Right? I've decided I'm going to go 4, take 1. As long as it's my Y's. And because I started with 4, then I have to stick with this point first. 8, take 5. Is everyone happy with that? Some of you might go, oh, Y1, Y2. Well, if you went the other way, if you went 1, take 4, and then you went 5, take 8, guess what? You're going to end up with the same answer because you're going to get -3 over -3, which is +1. Here I get 3 over 3, which is still +1. Right? All good, as long as you don't mix it. All right, so there's my slope. I have to choose one of these points. What point would you like to choose? Some of you will go, I want to choose A because it's the first one I see. Excellent. Some of you would want to choose B. Why? Smaller numbers. You will get the same answer no matter what point you choose. Somebody said A first, so I'll go with that. It's all right. And by now we should be going, oh my God, this is, yes, it's the whole just use your slope formula to get the equation of the line because you did that practice for homework. If you haven't done your homework, you're a little bit behind the ball. Go, what's going on? So, moral of the story, do your homework. Okay, 1. I mean, you can say 1 over 1 if you really want to, but you know it's the same thing. And then we say, use our slope formula. Y, take your Y value over X, take, oh my goodness, your X value. It's almost like it makes sense. And hopefully you know how to finish that off. Yeah? We know how to finish it off? Right, you just cross multiply, right? You go, and if you didn't know how to finish it off, you go, I don't like it like this. I don't like this divide by X take 8, so let's get rid of it. How do we get rid of a divide by X take 8? Times. So it becomes 1 times X take 8 over 1 times Y take 4. Before you do your next line, you've got to read the question. Because we know they could ask us to put it in y-intercept form, or we'll gradient intercept form, right? Or general form. So in this case, we've read it. It says y-intercept form, so basically that means get y by itself. So get rid of the take 4, you add 4. -8 plus 4 is -4. That looks a bit kooky, so that's the same as y equals X take 4. Agreed? Agreed. So, bless you. There were 6 questions in this exercise. You only need to do 3, unless you've made a mistake, you're taking extra time to do it, then do a couple more, right? Practice. It needs to be routine. Thank you. Are there any questions? Got it? Yeah? Who can answer that? The difference between writing it in Intercept form and writing it in general form. Yep. So, and this should be in your note page, right? So, y-intercept gradient form is y equals mx plus c. And your general form is ax plus by. And I hate this bit because your textbook sort of goes plus c equals 0, but most of the time people actually have that on the c on the other side, like, because it's just easier. But anyway, yeah. And can you remember what the politeness was? Yeah, you want to try and make the a value, the x value positive. It just looks nicer, but you know, is it a disaster if you don't? Well, not really, but try and get into good habits. Does that make sense? I ask you to do A, B, C, D of this. Well, it's just a picture form of what you were doing in question 3. Would you agree? Little thing for D. Oh, did they give you a point? Yes, they did. What is that point? It's 2, 0, right? X first, then your Y. So, please. All right, when it comes to this one, some of you are going, yeah, you went, lo and behold, and we ended up with your slope, minus 3, take 3, becomes 0, minus 1. And then we go, yes, of course we know that it's 0. Because when we have a steep slope, it goes like that. The more gentle it gets, the lower the value of the slope. So that could be 4. This would be 1. It gets even more ooh, that's still got it. That could be like a quarter, correct? People at home, I'm now going visual, so sorry. All right, so steep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, quarter. What happens when it's horizontal? 0, because there's no rise. Lots of run, but no rise. Yeah? So first thing we need to do is make sure that we've written somewhere that a horizontal line has slope. I can't fit horizontal. Right? Has a slope that is 0. The equation of any horizontal line is always going to have the same form. So I was just doing it with the chaps over there. Notice your y value. What if I had this point here? What would that value, that point be? 1, negative 3. If I extend this line and come out here and it's 10, what would that point there be? 10, negative 3. No matter whatever point I put on that line, y is always going to be negative 3. So should it come as a surprise to you then that the equation of that line will be y equals minus 3? Right? So when you've got a horizontal line, you don't even have to bother with this whole put the equation, the slope, y take, blah, blah, x take. A horizontal line is always y equals whatever the y value is of the point that it goes through. Yeah?
How would we like to try working out that?
So there is no working out really for that. Once you've got your slope is 0, you look for your point that you've been given and bang, that is your equation. So if I had, it could be a question where you've got, what is the horizontal line? So let's, ooh, didn't see that there. What's happened there? So if I said, what is the equation of the horizontal line through, give us a point, any point? Well, 4 would not be a good point to give me because how do you know what the values are? So it'd be 4, but then give another
7.
Yeah. So if it's through 4, 7, no working is needed. Horizontal, I'm picturing in my head, it's going across like this, slope 0. I get y equals 7 because it has to go through the y value of that point. Does that make sense? We right? So now, be logical. If a horizontal line is y equals whatever the y value goes through, what do you think a vertical line looks like? Or is it's going to be x equals, but what? Yes, the x value, because again, any point, notice, even the 2 points that you've got there, x is always 2. So a vertical line, vertical, the slope, lots of rise but no run. Remember we talked about you can't divide by 0? So what's the slope of a vertical line? Do it on your calculator. Go 5 divided by 0. Oop. Do it. So I love the fact that I'm saying do it and you're all going 0 because I know that is not the answer that you will get. Error, undefined. You cannot divide by 0. So please, my advanced kiddies, no, when you're dividing by 0, it's not 0, it's undefined. Okay? So, horizontal line, m equals 0, the equation will always be y equals the value of whatever the y component is, okay? And the equation for a vertical line will always be x equals the x component. Make sense? Come and help talk to you in a minute. So y equals the y value equals the x value. Oui? So if you got stuck on those, carry on. So, watch. Where do I get my pointer back? So if you didn't like that, just going through it again. So if we take, you want to go horizontal or vertical? Okay, horizontal, let's go through here. And I'm going through 4. So if I now have, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, all the way up to out here, right, this is 10. So what is this point on my line? It's not just 1, it would be 1, 4. What is this point on my line? 2, 4. What is this point on my line? 3, 4, 4, 4, 10, 4. What about here? Minus 7, right? This would be? Minus 7, 4. Your y value is always 4. It's always going to be 4. So no matter what x value you have, y will always be, that is the equation of that line. Happy with that? So now, when you go vertical, if I tell you this is the point, good, minus 2, 8, right? If I now, this point here would have to be minus 2, 0. This point here maybe would be minus 2, minus 3, etc. This one, minus 2, minus 6, right? This one here, minus 2, 2. But again, every point that is on that line, the x value is always, no matter what y is, x will always be minus. So that is the equation of that line. Okay? If you take any of those pairs of points and work it out, you would end up going, you've got some sort of rise, so 8 take 2 is 6, minus 2 take is 0, and we know we can't divide by 0. This will be every single time because your x values are the same, you'll get 0 downstairs. So slope of a vertical line, undefined, will always be that form. Slope of a horizontal line, your slope will always be 0, and the equation will always be just y equals 1 point. What point is that? The y component of the point that it passes through. So, no working. Understanding and knowing. Capiche? So that is something I would add to your note page. Draw a line. Draw a diagram if you want to. You should have been at the point now where you can be given, here's the equation, here's the point, here's the slope, bang, find the equation of the line easily. You should now also be able to go, hey, I've given 2 points, I can find the equation of the line. No problemo, right? Not making silly mistakes. You have got and realized that, hey, if I write something like the book's got written a half x plus 7, that is the same as y equals x over 2 plus 7. They are the same, you don't have to rewrite it. If you got an answer of 2y equals x plus 14, but the book had this, you again should be able to look and go, oh, I'm not wrong, I haven't finished. Right? Because you can say, oh, look, how come they've got y by itself and I've got a 2 there? How do I get rid of the times 2? Divide by 2. Oh, I get that answer. So I need you to look a little bit more in depth because those are some of the questions that I've been answering. Okay? Same with negatives going through. So please, doesn't mean you're wrong. Just go back, have a look, finish off. You're going to start getting, as we said, less and less information or hidden information. So if we look at question 6, find in gradient y-intercept form the equation of line 2. So we look at line 2 and all we've got is a point. What do we need to find the equation of a line? Slope and a point. Oh no, I have no slope. Oh, they're parallel because you look at those little lines and then we realize if lines are parallel, they have the same slope. So then you go, do I know the slope of this equation? Why? How? Why? Exactly. It's in slope-intercept form. They could have been nasty and put it to you in general form, but you could have then rearranged it, correct? So keep going through. What's the question asking me? It's going to be asking you find the equation of a line most of the time. What do I need to find the equation of a line, etc., etc.? So here's my point. My slope is 2/3. I have a feeling if you look at question 8, there's going to be a perpendicular line in there. So then remember, flip, reverse the sign. Agreed? Okay. When you get to G2, have a look at question 1 and 2. What they're saying is if you have done this slope and point over and over again, you might have established a shortcut. So if you wanted to, have a look at the example that they have there. I'm very much don't try and remember the shortcuts because people always stuff up with their negatives. Your call. Once again, what a surprise, they're asking you to find the equation of a line. What do we need to find the equation of a line? Slope and a point. Well, they've got the point, but you've got to work for it to get the slope. How do we get the slope? Rearrange it. Or if you've seen the shortcut, you can just sometimes look and go, bang, I know. Okay, how would I do this? I would go 4y, chuck the -3 on the other, well, the 3x on the other side becomes negative. And now I don't have to do anything else. I can go, huzzah! What is the slope? And sorry, can I just say again, I'm looking out there. I can see people aren't paying attention. It's the same ones who then ask, I don't know what to do. How do you do this question when I've just gone through it? So the slope would now be -3/4. I would say in this same question, right? Either it's part B or part C. Instead of saying parallel to this line, what do you think it would say? Yes, it's becoming predictable. So if it was saying find the equation of the line that's perpendicular, your slope would then become? So for the tape, I've heard some people saying negative 4 over 3. Now, think about this. Picture it. Negative 3 over 4, negative slope means you're going that way, yeah? Perpendicular means it has to go the other way. So could your perpendicular slope be negative 4 over 3? Could it? No. So picture and then go, oh yeah, flip. So you flipped, but you reversed the whole sign. So it's negative. The perpendicular slope will become positive. Again, common mistake that people make because they're not sort of visualizing. So try and visualize, makes life a lot easier. Right, keep your books open. I'm going to come around and sign. I want to see what you think 45 minutes worth of homework is. Those people who didn't do their homework, you've then got to give me an hour and a half.